All righty, John, it's all you. Thanks for doing your story.
Thank you, Rick. My name is John. I am a compulsive overeater.
Hi,
Hey,
John.
John.
Um, I appreciate the chance to share my story. I really feel pulled to treat it like I'm at a destination and want to encourage you to reach that destination. But I'm on a journey, and I encourage you to take that journey too. It's been an absolute miraculous blessing for me. But it's a tradition I understand in 12-step programs to talk about what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now in my recovery journey. What it was like for me, I thought about this. When I was in elementary school, there was a big kid in our class, big meaning overweight, and everybody picked on him all the time. But I realized, had he not been in the school, it would have been me. He was kind of like the focus of the whole school's ire, and I didn't realize till today I would have been the next in line had he not been the lightning rod for that kind of cruelty that kids tend to aim at each other. I remember my mother taking me to J.C. Penney's shopping for clothes, and she steered my brothers and sisters to the regular clothing, and then she said, "John, we need to go over here to the husky clothes." And I was like, "What's husky?" She said, "Never mind." And I remember my father, who's a very kind man, standing behind me and just saying, "Son, don't worry. Someday you're just gonna shoot up like a weed." And I was thinking, who wants to shoot up like a weed? But you know what? He was right. He was referring to the fact that I was growing too much in the horizontal and not enough in the vertical. But when I got to high school, I was about 6 feet tall and probably ideal body weight. If you looked at the whatever chart, BMI is a really good body weight. Unfortunately, I kept going, and as of today, I'm probably 50 pounds at least above that healthy body weight. And like a lot of folks in OA, I was determined to find a solution by looking deeper and deeper into myself. I joined the gym. I'm not joking to say that I went multiple times a week for a year, lifting every weight I could put on the equipment, more weight than anybody else I saw, and it had no effect, none. I wasn't more fit, I wasn't happier, not healthier. I did type of diets where you got the chocolate drink and you skip a meal because you drink, been eating this diet drink. Didn't lose any weight at all. I did intermittent fasting and took 2 health, nutrition, weight loss classes through my physician. You're not supposed to take it twice. I took it the first time and immediately gained back all the weight. So I went back in and said, "Can I take it again?" And he didn't look too happy, but he said, "Okay." I went back through, I lost the weight and gained it back again. I really started to get desperate because overall my weight every time was climbing higher and higher and higher. And I started using laxatives and things, thinking that might help. It didn't help. I was just increasingly desperate. Because I'm in another 12-step program, I realized I was feeling something very familiar, which was compulsivity. I had a compulsive desire to do something that I did not agree with, that was really stupid and was not solving my problem, and that was eating. It wasn't ridiculous, but I just know I would begin the day thinking I'm going to eat normally today, and I wouldn't. I would eat until I almost couldn't stand to eat anymore. And I got comfort from that. And I made the mistake of believing that that replaced the fact that spiritually I was not very comfortable at all. So I wouldn't say I was a yo-yo. If I was, it was a very slow motion yo-yo, but I was creeping up and up and up. So when I realized I was dealing with compulsive overeating, I came to a 12-step program. I found this group here, which immediately took me in, and whenever we say you have found home or you are home, everyone in this group has made me feel completely welcome and been willing to open up with their story and their solutions. And nevertheless, I had to work the steps, even though I've worked them before, and I worked them with a very generous sponsor. And my sponsor, I just want to say, I think everybody's sponsor is probably different, and everybody's need from their sponsor is probably different. They're unique individuals, each of them passing along the experience, strength, and hope that got them sober. And my sponsor was very willing to, is very willing to talk, to speak to whatever it was I called about, and to share, again, experience, strength, and hope, often right on target for what I need to hear that day. But I know from being in this program for a while, each person's different. Another person might just want to be listened to and just call up, have the sponsor listen, and unload. I know there are people who probably never call their sponsor, but I needed to work the steps. I needed to have a sponsor. I needed to come to meetings, and it's worked for me. I'm about halfway back to what my doctor said is a healthy body weight as a result of working these steps. And it is a journey. I can probably speak a year from now and still say I'm on a journey, but from what I see in the 12 Steps of Recovery, the frame of reference is supposed to be one day. It's always supposed to be one day. It's not a 6-month program of recovery. It's not a 6 years. It's not even 6 days. And so everything I need in order to not compulsively overeat is found in applying the 12 steps and what I've learned from them and the power that I've connected with to what's happening today. So today, my wife left town for a 10-day trip. And hey, the last time she left town for a 10-day trip, I gained 5 pounds. Don't know why. She asked me, why did you gain 5 pounds? And I said, I don't know. Other than I was lonely and looking for comfort. And even though I thought I was eating the way that God intended me to, I apparently wasn't. I did take it quite seriously and ask myself, how does God intend me to do? I couldn't just put a veneer over these other things I'd done, the intermittent fasting and going to the gym. I really needed to stand on a spiritual foundation. And so I'm a Quaker, so what we do is just open ourselves up and say, God, if you have a message, I'm ready to hear it. And the message I got about an eating plan was stupidly simple. Not that God's stupid, but that I'm stupid. He understood I needed something stupidly simple, and he said, stop eating sugar in any form. None of the fructose, the glucose, all the names the company seemed to dream up to trick you into thinking there's no sugar in it. I wouldn't eat it. And I stopped eating white flour because that's basically sugar in the making. My body turns it into sugar. And other than that, I just said, I'm going to stop eating sugar, stop eating flour, and see where that takes me. And it's led me to such a healthy condition that my doctor's ecstatic. He can't believe. And it's not a weight thing. It's just health and well-being. He promised me if I would reach the healthy body weight that he laid out for me, that I could live to be 100. And it just so happened my grandson, first grandson ever, was being born on that day, August 7th of last year. And that's the day that my abstinence began. Everybody's got a personal reason for, they talk about rock bottoms in 12-step groups. My rock bottom was realizing I didn't have it on a chart, but I could tell I was probably going to gain 10 pounds every year on forever until I died of some, health complication. And I couldn't bear to think of my grandson not remembering my face And I thought, if my doctor is not my higher power, but he really shoots straight, and he said, if you can get down to this healthy body weight, you can live to be 100. All he means is you're sidestepping a lot of the medical complications of gaining the weight you're gaining. And I said, well, if I live to be 100, my grandson will be about 35 years old. He'll have a son by then, and I have a good shot of holding that great grandson. So that was my motivation. I'm glad to say I haven't had any weight-related health scares, but as I said, I think it was coming. See, I'm doing it on time. I'm in another fellowship where stopping is the whole point, and as everybody here knows, nobody here is here to stop eating. We're here to eat in a sane way, a sane and healthy way. And I have to say that has been a blessing to me. I didn't mean to talk about this, but when I'm in a real black and white program where I could say it's been 14 years since I can't say it's been 14 years since the last time I ate, but I could say it's been 14 years since the last time I ate in a way that I don't think my Creator intended for me to eat. And what that's done for me is it's pushed recovery into my every waking meal. 3 times a day, I'm thinking about recovery all over again, because every meal is an opportunity to lose my abstinence. Every trip to the grocery store is an opportunity to lose my abstinence. And so I have to work my program continuously in this fellowship. And that's really been good for me, because I've had people who got they got sober from very difficult addictions and compulsions. But after they'd been in it for a few years, they were kind of done. They were okay. They were settled. They weren't terrified, white knuckling that they would slip or slide back. And I don't think I can have that attitude. I can't say to myself, well, I'll be fine. I just have to be a little smarter. No, it's not about being smarter. I did have some tests along the way. But I joined OA in August. That was right before my wife and I took a anniversary trip to Las Vegas, which is famous for the largest buffets in the world. The largest buffets in the world. And here I was going up and down the line, going, no, yes, no, yes, no. And that's the cool part. I just want to say is I ate like a king. I ate like a king without eating sugar and without eating flour. I was delicious foods with vegetables and protein and everything else. I ate like a king, and I loved every bite of it. And again, if this was a program about how I'm going to, white knuckle it and grit my teeth and avoid, I couldn't make it. And honestly, I don't think my higher power has it in mind for me to eat in a way that's unnatural. To eat a food where I look down in the plate and it looks about as appetizing as this piece of cardboard. Okay, so I'm already working on ways to really build a healthy diet, a healthy plan of eating that fits my day, that won't upset my wife, because we've kind of begun to drift apart at mealtime, because I go off and eat my abstinence food and she goes off and eats her normal food, and that's not healthy for our marriage. I don't think that's the kind of eating that my higher power wants us to have. So I'm going to steer back towards planning meals and things that she will love to eat. And I love looking forward to meals and coming away grateful for the meal. Whereas the way it was before, I would look forward to the meal for what I hoped, the relief it would provide me emotionally from whatever I was unhappy about. and I was never happy after the meal. Because after the meal, I either overate and was filled with shame, guilt, and remorse, or I would have eaten what I was supposed to eat, a piece of cardboard, and just hate it, just hate eating, curse my life. So I'm still looking forward to one step at a time. It's a road of happy destinies, what the 12 steps call it. That's what I mean by, it never says, hey, I hope you reach the destination. The 12-step literature says, hey, we'll see you on the journey. So that's my experience as of today. I don't look forward to my next coin or whatever else. I don't think the coins work for me. I need to say my coins and my scale will never be my source of my sanity. I thought about weighing myself this morning and coming in and giving everybody a report card according to what my scale thinks of me, and I prayed about that, and instead the message I got was, tell the truth. So thank you for listening. It's the kindest gift you could give me, along with your continued friendship and support. I am John at the Pulse Radio.
Thanks, John.